What's up everyone, welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going through dynamic search ads. So I'm going to be going through them in Google Ads and in Microsoft Advertising. So how you can create dynamic search ads campaigns and some best practices for organizing all of your data. So we're going to come over here to Google Ads to get started. And when you want to get started with dynamic search ads, the first thing I would do is make sure that you're optimizing for conversions in your account. So I would do this in Google Ads and in Microsoft Advertising. I do have videos on my channel going through conversion tracking pretty extensively, whether you have an e-commerce store or whether you have just a standard website where you're trying to drive leads or sales on your website. So what you would want to do first is when you're signed into your account, you want to make sure you come over here to tools and settings, and under measurement, you want to open the conversions page right here. And then you can see all of your conversion actions right here. So it might be something like a newsletter sign up. It might just be a conversion on your website. So for example, if we come here and click on the plus sign, you can create conversions on your website. So what you would do is add the Google Ads tracking pixel directly to your website. You can do phone calls. You can import conversions. So this is generally what I do. Is I'll import conversions directly from Google Analytics. So if you click here and click on continue, then any of the goals that you've created in Google Analytics, you can actually use as conversions in your Google Ads account. So I'd highly recommend getting started with conversion tracking. So if we come over here to my channel real quick, this is the video I'd recommend watching is Google Ads conversion tracking with Google Analytics. I go over how to track thank you pages, how to track when someone actually clicks on a button or a link on your website, and how to track e-commerce transactions. So some of the main things that you would want to track on your website. And what you would do is you would just import these conversions directly into your Google Ads account. Now, the other thing you can do with Microsoft Advertising here is when you have your Microsoft Advertising account open, this was previously Bing Ads. So if you see the same exact interface, it's just a name change. So all you would do is come over here to the left-hand side and click on conversion tracking right here. You create your UET tag. You add that tracking code to your website, you create a conversion goal, and then you validate your UET tag. So if we come here to view UET tags page, now if we scroll down here, you can see I have my tag active on my website and I have 3 goals here. So 3 conversion goals. And if we click here on conversion goals, you're gonna be able to see some of the different conversion goals that I've created. The most recent one I've created is outbound click. So I wanna track every time someone clicks a link and goes off my website. So I want to try to track some of the most important things that happen on my website. And that's really where you want to get started when you're creating dynamic search ads. Now to get into the tutorial. So we're going to come back over to the campaign screen for both of our accounts. And we're going to come over here and let's come to our Google Ads campaign screen. Okay, so there's different ways to actually target your dynamic search ads. Now, if you're not familiar with dynamic search ads yet, essentially what they do is they use your website, they use pages on your website to create dynamic search ads through Google Ads. So if you come here, you can see dynamic search ad headlines and landing pages are generated using content from your website. So it's going to help you create really relevant advertisements based on what people are searching. So you're not targeting keywords when you're using dynamic search ads, you're actually using your pages for targeting. So it makes it a little bit easier for advertisers, especially if you have a lot of different pages and you're planning on creating hundreds or even thousands of ad groups. Dynamic search ads can make it a little bit easier for you. Now, one thing you can do to make sure things are really organized is use a page feed. So you're going to see here, use a feed to target dynamic search ads. And I'll include both of these links from the Google Ads help section directly into the video description here. So if we scroll down here, you're going to see before you begin, download the page feed data template. So you definitely want to download that to get started because that's going to allow you to create a spreadsheet that you can upload into Google Ads and into your Microsoft Advertising account as well to allow you to target your advertisements based on your pages on your website. So if we come over here, I've already downloaded it. This is what the page feed template looks like. So you enter your page URLs here, and then you enter custom labels here for each of the page URLs. So the one that I've already started to create, if we come over here, you can see I have one right here. So it has my page URL. For this example, I'm going to be using my website, farmhousegoals.com, and then you can create custom labels here. Now, once you already have it uploaded, you're going to see these here: item status, and status, and you're going to see things like enabled and approved here. Don't really worry about that. If you're seeing it on mine, you're not going to see it on yours as you're creating your page feed. You just want to create it just like this one is right here, with custom labels and your page URLs. So I can actually come over here if I'm going to create a brand new page feed, and I can come over and we'll get rid of all of the item status and status fields here in this spreadsheet. Okay, so this is essentially what it's going to look like. So the way to look at this is, what you do is you enter the page URLs here that you want to target with your dynamic search ads. And I'm going to go through a campaign creation through both Google Ads and Microsoft Advertising. You can fast forward a little bit if you don't want to go through some of these different things that you can do. But these are really important as you're setting up your dynamic search ads campaigns. So you create the page URLs you actually want to target with your advertisements, and then you create custom labels over here so you can kind of organize all the different pages you're going to target. So if we come over to our website real quick and we just open the blog page, what we can do is we can see we have this blog right here, 60 plus Ray Dunn office supplies. So let's say I want to target this page with my ads. And we'll keep scrolling down here, and you're going to see 50 plus farmhouse mirrors and rustic mirrors. Let's say we want to target this page as well. So we want to add these two pages to our page feed to help you understand how this really all works. So we come over here, and what we can do is take this page right here. So Ray Dunn office supplies. If you come in here and you scroll down, you can see it's just a lot of different office supplies from the creator Ray Dunn. So we take this URL right here. We're going to take it. We're going to copy it. So we're going to come over to our page feed, and we're just going to paste this right here. And I just want to make sure I paste it unformatted so it just looks like the rest of this spreadsheet. So we're just going to come here, right click, we're going to paste special, and we're going to do unformatted text. Okay. So that's going to allow us just to paste this right here. We can adjust this to make sure it all looks the same, but it's fine for the time being. Now, if we come over to custom label, one thing we might want to do is just start with something like blog post. So that's going to be one of the labels we can use for our targeting. Now what I can do is, in my second label field, I can do something like Ray Dunn. So any pages on my website that are related to Ray Dunn, I can actually use that as a label in my targeting. So I'll go over that in a little bit. Now let's just do a third one, and let's just say I do office. So people who are looking for office supplies, office furniture, some of these different things, I can target it like this way. So I have 3 different labels here, and you can add more labels. The more organized you are here, the better your campaigns are going to perform. So we have our URL here. We have 3 different labels that we've added. So let's come over here to our mirrors page. So we have farmhouse mirrors, rustic mirrors. So we'll copy this URL here. We're going to come back over to our page feed again. So we'll go into the next field here, and we're just going to paste it again. We're going to paste unformatted text, click on OK. And then what we can do is custom label. We can do blog post again. So blog posts can be helpful. Is, let's just say I want to target all of the different blog posts on my website. Then I can use that in my label targeting. So if we come over here, the next thing I can do is something like mirrors. So I can target anybody who's looking for mirrors. So if I have multiple pages with mirrors, I can enter those here as well. And then if I come over one more time, what I can do is something like wall decor. So we'll just do blog post, mirrors, and wall decor. Okay, now the next thing we can do, I'm going to add one more page here just so it all really makes sense. So let's just say I come over here and I have my shop page here. So it's Ray Dunn Pottery. It has all my different products for sale here. So I can add all of these different things here: canisters, Christmas, dishes, so on and so forth. But I just want to add this entire product category here. So we're going to take this page, we're going to copy it. And again, really the more targeted you are, the better it's going to be. So what I should be doing is targeting this canisters page here. So what we can do is just add both of them. So we'll come here, come to item report. We're going to paste this URL again. So we're going to paste it in there. And then what we can do is products. So you can see over here, I have a product page. So it's a little bit different because I'm sending people to an actual shop page on my website. And what we can do is Ray Dunn. So I'm just going to enter those 2 labels here. Now, if I come back over here, we can use canisters and we can copy this. So we're just going to copy the link address, come back over here, come back to our page feed, and we're going to copy and paste that again here as well. So this will be the last one that we add. So now we have Ray Dunn canisters here. We'll do products again. And now we have Ray Dunn again that we can target with. And what we can do is come over here, and maybe what I'm going to do is canisters or kitchen or something along those lines. So some different things to really organize how I can target the different products on my website to people who are searching my targeted keywords. Okay, so what we can do here is we're going to come to file and we're going to save this right now. Okay, so now we have our page feed saved. What we can do is we're going to come back over here to our Google Ads account, And what we can do is come up here to tools and settings, and under setup here, you want to come to business data. So under business data, you're going to see I already have a page feed here. So it's the page feed I had before I just started editing it. So you can see my page URLs, you can see my custom labels, and then you can see here I have status here as well. So if I have custom labels here, blog post syncs, so any of my syncs pages I can organize this way. So what I can do is click on the plus sign here, and I can actually add different page URLs here directly to my feed after I upload it. So rather than going through and keeping my page feed uploaded in a spreadsheet, I can have it directly through Google Ads. So I could just enter a page URL right here. So if I want to come over here, copy and paste this page URL here, right into there, enter some custom labels, click on save. So it's really that simple. So what I would do instead is come back up to the top to business data. So that's under tools and settings, under setup, business data. And what we can do is click on the plus sign, and we're going to enter a page feed here. So now we're going to select a file from our computer. So we're going to take the file that we were just working on here, and we're going to name it. So what I'll do is FHG page feed example, and we'll click on apply. Okay, so we have it uploaded now. So now if we click on our new page feed, you're going to see it right here. So it's going to match the page feed that we just uploaded. It's going to have the same exact URLs here, and it's going to have the same exact custom labels. So you can come over here and you can see the different page URLs are going to match here, and then the different labels will match what we had. And this is the way it's going to look. So you're going to see some different custom labels here for each of the URLs. That's going to allow you to target your advertisements. So now that we have our page feed uploaded, we're ready to start creating our campaign. So we're going to come back over here to Google Ads. And what we want to do is come into our campaigns here, and we're going to click to create a new campaign. Now, the way you set up your goal is usually going to be sales or leads, depending on what you're trying to drive. So if you come in here to your conversion actions, you're going to see some different options right here, and category might be purchase sale, it might be lead, it might be other. So you want to use something that really matches the category of the different type of conversions that you're trying to drive. So my main conversion here is this FHG conversion. It's a purchase sale under category. So we're going to come over here to new campaign, and we're going to be trying to drive sales. Our campaign type will be search. We're going to be using website visits, and what it's going to be is farmhousegoals.com, and we're going to click on continue. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is name your campaign here up at the top. You're going to see type search, and you're going to see goal. It should be sales or leads, as long as you're optimizing for conversions in your account. Now we want to scroll down. You don't want to include the Google Display Network here. Just include the Search Network and Google Search Partners. And then we're going to scroll down here, click on Show More Settings, and you're going to see Start and End Dates, Campaign URL Options, and Dynamic Search Ads Setting. So here what I would do is I would use URLs for my page feed only, and any of the page feeds that you've actually uploaded to your Google Ads account through the business data in your tools and settings are going to show up here. So we're going to do the new one that we just created, the page feed example, and we're going to keep scrolling down. So to keep this pretty simple, we're going to keep locations as United States. You can adjust this if you'd like. We can keep scrolling down. You can adjust your language targeting. You can add audiences to your campaign. So you can actually add in-market audiences or retargeting audiences, whatever you want to do. We're not going to be doing that for this example at this time. So we're going to keep scrolling down. You're going to see budget and bidding. So the average you want to spend per day. The best way to look at this is take the average you want to spend per month and divide it by 30. So if I want to spend $900 this month, we'll just say we're going to spend $30 per day. So we're going to keep scrolling down. Next is going to be bidding. So bidding, we want to focus on conversions. If we have it right here, what do you want to focus on? Conversions. It's going to say this campaign will use the maximize conversions bid strategy. Now what we can do is set a target cost per action. And if we click right here, you're going to see target CPA. So essentially what this means is how much we're willing to pay for each conversion on our website. If each conversion on our website drives us an average value of $50, for example, then maybe what I want to do is start my target CPA at $25. Hopefully I can start driving conversions at $25 or less. You can always adjust your target CPA over time. Now the other option you have is going for conversion value. So in this one, you're actually trying to drive conversion value. So you would set a target return on ad spend. And let's just say, for example, we do 150%. So this is great for e-commerce if you're trying to drive more value on your website than you're actually spending in Google Ads. For this one, I'm just going to do target CPA. We're going to try to drive as many conversions as possible. And let's just set it at $25. Hopefully we can get it down over the course of time. So keep scrolling down. you're going to see ad extensions here. So I highly recommend setting up ad extensions, specifically site link extensions, so you can send people to different pages on your website, some of the key pages that you want to send them to. So maybe you have a great page where people can browse through all the different products you have for sale or all your different services, or maybe you have some very relevant services based on who you're targeting. If you're doing things for PPC advertising services, maybe you want to come here under site link extensions and you want to add something like Facebook ads management, Google ads management. So some of these different things that are going to help highlight some of the different services you have or products you have to offer. So for this, what I can do is something like farmhouse furniture. We can scroll down here and we can try to find some things that are going to be relevant. So we'll just say home, and maybe you want to send people to a couple different pages on your website. These ones aren't perfect for this campaign, but I'm just going to keep them as is for now, just so we have some different site links showing up. So we have our farmhouse goals shop, home, farmhouse sinks for sale, and farmhouse furniture. All things that we can target with our dynamic search ads. Now you really want to add these at the ad group level, but right now they're campaign level site link extensions. So we'll close this for now. Next will be call out extensions. So if we come here, you're going to see some different options. You can see I've added these already to my farmhouse shelves ad group. You can see they really match up with those. So I've used that as a lot of examples for my videos. So you might want to do something like top rated farmhouse decor. Maybe if you have any promotions, you can add them as well. I'd recommend getting started with at least 4 site link extensions and at least 4 call out extensions as you're setting up your campaign. And then any other extensions that are relevant for your business. Call extensions, you can add a phone number to your ad. Structured snippet will allow you to show some of the different services you offer. If you're a hotel, some of your different amenities, all these different things. Structured snippets allow you to show a little bit more detail about your business. If you have a mobile app extensions. If you can answer text messages or email messages, then do message extensions. Any promotions you're running, specific prices for your products or services, and then location extensions, which would connect with your Google My Business account so people can actually see the physical location of your business. So we're not going to add any of these for the time being, but you want to add any of the ones that are really relevant for your business to get the most out of your campaign. So we're going to come here to save and continue, and we're going to keep going, creating our dynamic search ad. So this is really the main part of the video. So you come in here to set up ad groups. You're going to see ad group type standard. So standard means that you're targeting keywords. So if I'm targeting the keyword farmhouse decor, the exact match keyword, this is what I would target it using a standard ad group. Rather than using standard here, we're going to get rid of this keyword. What we want to do is we want to come to this drop down and we want to click on dynamic. So this is where you're going to change this from standard to dynamic. So you're going to see ad group type. As you're setting up your search campaigns, we're going to use dynamic here. And now it's going to allow you to add custom labels from your feed, target specific web pages, or target all web pages. So you have those 3 main options when it comes to targeting. Now there's other things you can do. You can target categories if you choose a different targeting setting in the previous step. I think this is the best way to target your dynamic search ads. So what we can do is just real quick, we'll open up the feed that we created and you're going to see it right here. So you're going to see some of the different custom labels we have. So let's just say I want to start with Ray Done. So what I would do is enter a custom label here and I'm going to do Ray Done. So what this is going to do is it's going to target the 3 different pages that we have here. So Ray Done Office, the product category Ray Done, and Ray Done Canisters. So that's going to include all 3 of those here. And that'll be our ad group 1. And what we'll do is Ray Done Dynamic Ads. Okay, so that's all we need to do, and then click on add over here. So now we added this dynamic ad target. So you enter it here and click on add, name your ad group, and now we can keep scrolling down. We're going to create a new ad group. So let's just come here again. We'll do ad group name. So what we can do is we'll come back over to our page feed and let's find another example. So we have Christmas here. So we want to target our product category with farmhouse Christmas decor. So we'll come over here and we'll do Christmas dynamic ads. And then custom label here will be Christmas. We're going to add it. And now we have this all set up to go. So now if we click on new ad group again, so the other thing we can do is target more labels just like we've been doing. I'd recommend using labels as themes. So making sure that you're really narrowing down where you're sending your traffic to. Now, if we look at some of the different labels I use, so blog post, it's going to be very broad if I include all of these in blog post, but it's still an option for targeting. I have furniture for some of these different pages here, so I can enter furniture. It will include all these pages, but your better option is using something like accent furniture, using something like trunks. So to make sure that people are really finding the page that they're looking for if they come in here and they search keywords related to farmhouse trunks for sale. Same with mirrors, so I can use mirrors as one of my options. So what I can do is just come over here and we'll do mirrors dynamic ads. So under custom label, all we would do is enter mirrors and click on add. Now what we can also do is add multiple labels. So just an example, let's just say I want to add mirrors, and let's say I want to do wall decor. We'll click on add here. So you can do multiple labels here in the same ad group. That's one option that you have, but for now I'm just going to keep it as mirrors. I highly recommend keeping this as targeted and as relevant as possible in your ad groups. So we're going to come here to new ad group again. And what we can do is you're going to see specific web pages or all web pages. All web pages will target every page on our website. So one option you can do is use this dynamic ad target and just try to set your bids as low as possible for this individual ad group if possible. So that's really what you're trying to do, is get people to see your ads, see your website, and send traffic to your website for the lowest cost. It's not really generally something that's going to work great, but it's something that you can test and see if there's any keywords that you're really missing out on or any pages on your website that are performing well. So I'm going to clear this for right now. And we'll come back over here to specific web pages. So you're going to see use exact URLs or create rules to target web pages. So you can do URL contains, and I can do something like sinks, and any page on my website that includes sinks in the URL. So it can be something like farmhouse sinks. It can be a specific sink product for sale. It'll include all those different pages. Now what you can do is just use exact URLs here. We'll come over to our website. You're going to see mirrors again. Now let's just say instead I want to target this page with bathroom vanity lights, so I can take this URL here up the top. We're going to copy it. We're going to come back over here and we're going to enter the URL right there. Now if you were creating rules, you would just do something like bathroom vanity lights. So you would come here, create rules, URL contains, and you can just do vanity lights or bathroom vanity lights. And then Google will use those pages that include those words in the URLs. So rather than doing that, we're going to use the exact URLs here. We're going to click on add. So now it's going to add this URL equals. So anytime someone searches keywords related to this page, then Google can use it for our advertising. So we have 4 different ad groups here. We'll name this one bathroom. Okay, so and ideally what you want to do is create more and more ad groups, because Google makes this process really easily, because they're dynamically taking the labels and the different ad targets that you're creating to create your advertisements, to make sure that people are finding your pages when they search any keywords that are even closely relevant to the different pages that you have in your page feed or that you enter here for your targeting. So we click on save and continue. And now you're going to see create ads. So all you need to do is enter descriptions for your advertisements. So to expedite this process a little bit, I'm just going to do this for one of them. So you're going to see Christmas dynamic ads. So I can just come here to description 1 and we'll enter a couple descriptions real quick. Okay, so we have our 2 description lines here. We can click on done, and what we'll do is we'll just come down here to the bottom and click on save and continue. So even though our other ads aren't complete, you obviously want to finish all of your advertisements. It's really that simple. So they're dynamically going to create advertisements. We only have one ad created here for our Christmas ad group. So you would want to obviously go through and create all those different description lines. Just to make sure this video is not extremely long, I'm just going to keep it just showing you the one advertisement. So dynamic ads are going to use dynamically generated headlines and dynamically generated display URLs. And they're also going to send people to the best possible landing pages based on the targeting that you set, whether you're using labels. Now, if you're using exact URLs, then Google is going to use those URLs as your landing pages as well. So that's one great way to make sure that you're sending people to the best pages on your website. You can also do something like, if you have, for example, this bathroom vanity lights page here, maybe I have a shop page on my website that features different farmhouse bathroom vanity lights for sale. I can include both of those different pages in my feed here and then use labels, and I can just do something like bathroom vanity for the 2 pages, and Google's going to pick which page ends up performing better over time. So that's why you want to use dynamic search ads. It makes it a lot easier to target your advertisements, and you don't have to worry about keywords. The main thing you need to worry about is adding negative keywords to make sure that your ads stay very relevant. So if we come over here, you're going to see our campaign is created. It's ready. We click on continue to campaign, and now we can get started with our campaign here. So we have our Christmas dynamic ads ad group. So we'll go into that one since we have everything set up there. Our dynamic ad target is our custom label Christmas. we come back over to our sample feed, you're going to see it's going to match to this page right here, Christmas. So if we add other pages and we add the label Christmas here and upload our page feed again, we can make sure that we have everything up to date and we're using different pages in our targeting. So this is really how to create dynamic search ads in Google. Now the main thing you're going to notice is if you come here to keywords, it's going to show negative keywords first, and under search terms, there's no search terms here. So what you want to do is make sure you come in here to negative keywords, look at your search terms regularly. So as you start getting data for your campaign, you're going to get search terms here that aren't extremely relevant to what you're targeting. So if I just get something here like Christmas decorations and I start seeing a lot of clicks and impressions from a broad keyword like just Christmas decorations, then what I can do is come here, add a negative exact match keyword for Christmas decorations to make sure that people are looking for farmhouse Christmas decor and rustic Christmas decor and things that are going to match the products that are on my website. So you want to make sure you're adding negative keywords regularly and looking at the search terms here. Now, if we come over here to ads and extensions again, you're going to see our dynamic search ad right here with our 2 description lines. We can click on the plus sign here and we can create another advertisement. So create a couple different descriptions here, click on save new ad, and make sure that we're creating different advertisements for people depending on what they're looking for. Now, your dynamic search ads are going to perform best if your ad targets are as relevant as possible. So rather than me targeting Ray Dunn, the broad category, I would kind of break it down by canisters, Christmas, dishes, office, mugs. So these different things so that people are seeing the best products when they do search my keywords. So that's how to create dynamic search ads in Google. If we come back over here, you're going to see our campaign. You can continue to build on top of it. Now, the other thing that you can do is if we come over here to all campaigns, you can create ad groups in a standard search campaign. So if we have our farmhouse goals search campaign here, we have some of these different ad groups. We click to create a new ad group. What we can do is use ad group type here and come here to dynamic, and then we can just enter our domain. So we're going to do farmhousegoals.com, click on update, and you're going to see it's going to allow us to target by different categories. It's going to allow us to target by specific web pages, like I showed you earlier, or all web pages. So we can come here and just say, okay, we want to use this page right here, or we'll use this bathroom vanity lights page. So we'll copy this one, come over here, just enter that URL, add it, click on save and continue. Oh, we have to set our bid. So let's just say $1. So we have it added over here, click on save and continue. And then you're going to see here, we have our new ad dynamically generated landing page headline. So we'll just do sample. Click on done and save and continue. So what you can see is we just created this new ad group here. So these other ad groups are targeting keywords, but this one here is just using dynamic ad targets. So you can mix and match them in your campaigns. You don't have to separate out your keyword targeting from your dynamic search ad targeting. However, I wouldn't kind of create a bunch of different ad groups that are targeting essentially the same keywords. So if you're already in here and your different ad groups, let's just come back over to ad groups here. You have something like farmhouse cabinets. I wouldn't enter the farmhouse cabinets page as well. I would really just try to target the keywords and make sure you're just focused on getting as much value out of the different ad groups based on what you're targeting instead of targeting everything twice. So this is dynamic search ads, how to create them in Google Ads. You really want to start with a page feed. So you would just come to your tools and settings, business data, upload your page feed. That's where I'd recommend getting started, and then go through the process, creating a campaign. And ideally what you'd want to have is 50 or more ad groups, especially if you have a lot of pages on your website. I've built some really large dynamic search ads campaigns, and then you just want to separate everything out by the different themes and understand that when someone's typing in keywords for your page, you want it to be as relevant as possible. So they click on advertisements that are going to match their keywords, go to a landing page with products and services that they're looking for. So ultimately you can drive conversions like I showed you in the beginning, where you come to this conversions page, upload your conversions, because that's what you want with dynamic search ads. You can also use them in your existing keyword targeting just to really expand your campaign, because when you're targeting an individual web page like this, it's going to pick out a lot of different keywords that people are typing in. So it's going to help you expand your campaigns a bit. So it's something that's definitely worth testing. But again, when you are running it, come over here, make sure you go into these different ad groups or your campaign. If it's a dynamic search ads campaign, come into keywords here and you want to come in to your search terms and see your different search terms so you can add negative keywords over time. That's really going to help you optimize your campaign and then create multiple advertisements, kind of mess around with descriptions, use ad extensions to really get the most out of your campaign. Okay, now that we're done here in Google Ads, we're going to go over to Microsoft Advertising next. So you're going to see we have our sample dynamic search ads campaign that we just created here. So what we can do is we can come over to Microsoft Advertising, and to make this really easy, what you can do is come to campaigns here. So if you've already built a large campaign in Google Ads, you can just come over here to create campaign, import from Google AdWords. So you'd click right here. And then what you do is sign into Google. So we sign into our Google account, Farmhouse Goals. We have our Google Ads account that we're signed into, the one we were just working in. And rather than doing import all existing, we can do import specific and just take this dynamic search ads campaign and just click on continue and import it directly into our account. So that's one easy option. That's something you probably should do if you want to run the same campaign on both channels. Now, obviously, I'm not just going to end the tutorial there. We're going to come back over here to the campaign screen. And what we want to do is I want to show you how to create a dynamic search ads campaign using Microsoft Advertising, aka Bing Ads. So we come over here to this campaigns tab and we're going to click create campaign and then dynamic search ads here. Now, if we scroll down, you're going to see the same thing. Targeting source, use Bing's index, use URLs for my page feed only. So rather than keep going, we're going to click on cancel real quick. We're going to come over here to shared library on the left-hand side and then view business data and then manage page feeds. So you're going to see I already have my one page feed uploaded here. So if you click on upload, you can upload the same exact page feed that I just showed you. So you don't have to go in and create a brand new page feed. So the one I've been working on over here, you can take this same exact feed that you've had and you just come over here to upload and you would just upload the file right here. Okay, and once you have it uploaded, you can just click on your page feed and it's going to look very similar to the other one. Now this is the one I did without updating it, but you can update it the same way I did. You can also just come up here and add item and you can do the same thing. Add a page URL, add some custom labels here. So some different things that you're able to do to make sure you're organizing all of your different dynamic ad targets. So we're going to be using this page feed and we can use our custom URLs as well. So we can come over here to the campaign screen again, and we're going to go through the process of building our campaign. So I just wanted to make sure I showed you where you can upload your page feeds in Microsoft Advertising as well. Now, again, you can just import the campaign directly from Google Ads. That's always what I'll do. But maybe you just want to use Microsoft Advertising. Maybe you want to test different things in different channels. I'd rather show you how to do it in both of the different channels. Now we'll come over here to create campaign and we're going to be doing dynamic search ads. So campaign name, what I'll do is just dynamic search ads example tutorial. Individual budget, let's just keep it the same as we had in Google Ads. So now we'd be spending $1,800 per month if we're running it between both of these different advertising networks. So we have our budget set. We can put our website here. So we'll do farmhousegoals.com. Website and website language cannot be changed once saved. So make sure you enter these properly here. Targeting source, what we're going to do is use URLs for my page feed only. We're going to enter our page feed over here. And then where do you want your ads to appear? I'll just keep it as Canada and the United States. Usually I just target United States. You can see it's only available in certain countries at this time in Microsoft Advertising. Who should see your ads? I always just do people in my targeted locations to make sure things are targeted as possible. I don't want someone who's across the world just looking up information about the United States to see my advertisements if I don't ship my products there. So we'll click on save and go to next step. And now what we can do is we'll start with our ad group name up here at the top, and let's just start with Christmas since that's the one we were going over previously. So we'll do Christmas here. So you can see target all web pages, target categories of web pages, target specific web pages, or target custom labels. So we'll do target custom labels here, and we do the same exact thing. So using our page feed that we uploaded, so we would come over here and we're going to come to our feed. You're going to see Christmas right here corresponds to this page. So we can take this label right here and it's going to be the same process as Google Ads. So we enter our custom label Christmas, and now we can set our bid. It's going to say leave the bid empty to use the default ad group bid of $1. We'll just use the default ad group bid, but you can adjust this here if you want to do something a little bit less, a little bit more. So we'll keep scrolling down. We'll add another ad group. So we'll do the same exact thing, target custom labels, And for this example, let's just change it up a little bit just to show you some different things. So we have sinks here, so 3 different sinks pages. So we're going to use the custom label sinks. So we'll take that one, enter it over here. You can change the bid again if you want, but we'll add a new ad group. And what I'll show you is target categories. So if we click on categories here, it actually doesn't have it for this one. So target all web pages, so we could target every single web page. Again, this is going to be very broad. I don't generally do this, but it's something you can do if you're really have a lot of budget. I've only done it with really high budget clients that really want you to spend every last dollar that they have on search engine advertising and to test as much as possible. But for a lot of people, you don't want to kind of waste some of your money testing like that. So we'll do target specific web pages and we'll do URL. You can do URL contains and we can enter something here. So we'll just do farmhouse bathroom vanity lights. So we'll just take this right here. We'll copy it. We'll come back over to our campaign creation, contains farmhouse bathroom vanity lights, and we'll enter it over here. So you can adjust the bid, add a new ad group. We're going to save and go to the next step. I think you get the idea of some of the different ad targets that you can use in Microsoft advertising because it's a very similar process as it is in Google Ads. So save and go to the next step. And you're going to see create ad here. So create ad, you're going to see dynamically generated headline. Same exact thing. The one thing here is the path. You can adjust the path if you want to. So if you're doing it for Christmas, I can do something like Christmas or farmhouse Christmas. So I can do farmhouse and then I'll do Christmas. So you can adjust your own path here. And then you would want to enter your ad text here. So we can enter the same one that I did previously. Okay, so we have our ad text here, we have our ad title, we have our path, we have our final URL will be dynamically selected landing page, and then we can click on save. So now you're going to see we have our one advertisement created, and we can create more and adjust some of these different things and continue to test. So a best practice is to create at least 2 dynamic ads per ad group here. You can create 3, but since it's going to be dynamically generated anyway, you're really only testing the ad text or the description lines, whether it's Microsoft advertising or Google Ads. So we can come over here, you're going to see some ad extensions. Same thing I talked about before. Add as many ad extensions that are relevant for your business, whether it's callouts, structured snippets, site links, price extensions, any of these things you want to add for your business. So we're going to save and go to the next step. Okay, so we're going to have our campaign budget here. $30 per day is how we're going to get it started. Our bid strategy, so what we're going to be using is enhanced CPC, adjust my bid to get more conversions. We can adjust bids now if we want to. And then we'll just click on save. And now it's going to go and it's going to launch our campaign. Got it. So we have our dynamic search ads example tutorial here. So this is how you create dynamic search ads in both Microsoft advertising and Google Ads and some of the different things to keep in mind. Now, again, I really do think a best practice here is if I use this example here, so Ray Dunn Pottery. So if I send people to this page and use this individual page as my dynamic ad target, it's going to include all of these different keywords here. So someone might be searching for, a specific Ray Dunn office organizer, and they might end up on this page right here. So rather than doing that, what you want to do is really separate out all your pages and focus on landing pages and use something like this. So farmhouse bathroom vanity lights, something that's very targeted. So this is someone who's looking for vanity lighting, farmhouse bathroom lights, farmhouse bathroom vanity lighting, all of these different types of keywords. Even if they type in rustic vanity lights, I know if they come here, they're going to find some products that are going to be very similar to what they're looking for. So that's your best practice, and that's what you want to do is make sure you're taking all those different ad groups and separating them out so you have things really as targeted as possible. And then the other thing to keep in mind is when you are creating ads here, you have everything is going to be dynamically generated. The landing page, the headline, the display URL will be in Google Ads, but you really just need to focus on creating good descriptions. So it's a lot easier to create dynamic search ads campaigns compared to your standard keyword campaigns because you don't need to do any keyword research. The main thing you need to do is focus on those negative keywords. So again, if you have any questions about dynamic search ads, how to get started with them, some best practices, then please leave them in the comments section. Otherwise, get started, create a big Google Ads campaign. You can import it directly into your Microsoft advertising account, or you can just create your own campaign through Microsoft advertising as well. So thank you for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.